The marketplace of Kepler Station buzzed with the chaotic rhythm of interstellar trade. Vendors from dozens of worlds shouted over one another, selling strange goods from distant planets while translation devices chirped constantly, converting alien languages into something resembling universal understanding. The air was thick with the scent of exotic spices mixed with the metallic taste of recycled station atmosphere. Ambassador Keithvar of the Yaoa Confederacy moved through the crowded marketplace with effortless predatory grace. His tall frame caused smaller beings to scatter instinctively, like prey sensing a hunter. His biomask clicked softly as it analyzed the chemical signatures around him, quietly cataloging possible threats and weaknesses. At his side rested his concealed hunting blade, a 7-inch masterpiece of molecular engineering capable of slicing through nearly any known material. Today's mission, however, was supposed to be diplomatic. Keithvar disliked such assignments. As a warrior of his caste, negotiations felt like work beneath his status. The Confederacy had sent him to discuss mineral rights with the local human administration, treating it as a routine matter. After all, what resistance could humans possibly offer? According to intelligence reports, humans were still newcomers to the galactic stage. It had been barely 2 centuries since they achieved faster-than-light travel. They possessed no natural weapons, no armored carapaces, no venom glands, and no acidic defenses. Their home world, Earth, sat in an ordinary star system with nothing particularly remarkable about it besides its mild climate and vast oceans. Most galactic civilizations considered humans little more than clever imitators, capable of reverse engineering advanced technology but physically too weak to pose any meaningful threat. As Keithvar approached the designated meeting plaza, a sudden disturbance broke through the market noise. Shouting erupted in several languages. The crowd began to panic and scatter. His biomask instantly identified the source. 3 Zelcan raiders had cornered a group of terrified civilian traders. Their plasma rifles were aimed directly at the helpless victims. The Zelcans were infamous pirates. Their thick chitinous exoskeletons made them nearly immune to small arms fire. Their leader stood nearly 8 feet tall, his mandibles dripping with neurotoxin as he demanded tribute from the frightened merchants. Local security was nowhere to be seen, a common problem on frontier stations like this one. Keithvar felt his hunter instincts stir with excitement. This might prove entertaining. He quietly drew his blade. The monomolecular edge hummed to life, eager for combat. The weapon had taken countless lives across dozens of worlds. Perhaps today he would add Zelcan chitin to his trophy collection. But just as he prepared to strike, something unexpected caught his attention. 3 humans stepped forward from the crowd. They looked completely ordinary. Average height, soft faces, simple civilian clothing, no armor, no visible weapons. They should have been running with the rest of the crowd. Instead, they walked forward calmly, with a steady and purposeful confidence that felt strangely out of place. "That's far enough," said the lead human. A woman with gray hair and gentle laugh lines around her eyes. She looked more like a grandmother than a warrior. The Zelcan leader let out a harsh clicking laugh. "More tribute," he sneered. "How generous of you to volunteer yourselves, soft meat." The woman simply smiled. "Actually," she replied casually, "I'm Captain Sarah Chun, formerly of the Terran Marine Corps. These are my colleagues, Sergeants Martinez and Okafor." She gestured to the 2 men beside her. "We're retired, but old habits die hard." Keithvar's biomask suddenly registered unusual readings. The humans' heart rates were elevated but steady. Not the chaotic panic of prey animals, but the controlled readiness of predators preparing to strike. Their muscles were tense like coiled springs. "You have 5 seconds to drop your weapons and surrender," Chun said calmly. "After that, things will become unpleasant." The Zelcans burst into mocking laughter. "Humans," their leader hissed, "you amuse us with your bravado. We have killed hundreds of your kind. Your bones break so easily." "For seconds," Chun replied, still smiling. That was when Keithvar noticed something that chilled him deeply. The other humans in the marketplace were no longer fleeing. They were quietly repositioning themselves. A maintenance worker casually picked up a heavy wrench. A food vendor gripped a cooking utensil like it was a combat tool. Their movements were subtle but precise. They weren't civilians. They were soldiers. 3 seconds, Chun said. The Zelcan leader raised his plasma rifle. But Chun was already moving. What happened next defied everything Keithvar believed about humans. Chun moved like flowing mercury, her strikes so fast and efficient that even his biomask struggled to track them. She struck 3 pressure points in rapid succession, and the massive 8-foot raider collapsed instantly. Martinez somehow produced a combat knife from nowhere and drove it directly into the joint gap of the second Zelcan before the creature could even raise its weapon. Okafor grabbed the third raider's weapon arm and twisted with brutal precision. The sound of cracking chitin echoed across the plaza. The entire fight lasted less than 10 seconds. Moments later, the humans calmly restrained the pirates using zip ties with professional efficiency. Captain Chin glanced toward Keithvar. Her eyes met the sensors of his biomask, and she gave him a polite nod, the silent acknowledgement one warrior gives another. Then she walked over. "Excuse me," she said casually. "You're Ambassador Keithvar, right?" He nodded slowly. "I'm supposed to escort you to the negotiation room," she continued. "Sorry about the delay. We usually don't let pirates operate on our stations." Keithvar slowly sheathed his blade, every instinct in his body suddenly on edge. These were not prey animals. They were something far more dangerous. Predators that had learned how to disguise themselves as prey. "Your station?" he finally asked. Chen's smile widened slightly. "Oh yes," she said. "Didn't anyone tell you? Kepler Station has been under human administration for the past 6 months. We've been making a few improvements to security." She gestured casually toward the crowd. Keithvar suddenly realized that nearly half of the people around them were human. Many of them clearly former soldiers now living civilian lives. "Funny thing," Chin added as they walked toward the administration center. "There are a lot of us out here. Retired military looking for quiet jobs." Keithvar's mind raced. The intelligence reports had been catastrophically wrong. Humans were not weak prey animals wandering blindly through the galaxy. They were apex predators, smart enough to let everyone else underestimate them. Suddenly, the upcoming negotiation felt far more important than a simple discussion about mineral rights. And for the first time in his entire hunting career, Keithvar felt like he might be the one being hunted. Behind them, the marketplace returned to normal as if nothing unusual had happened. As if 3 armed pirates being defeated by grandmothers and shopkeepers was just another ordinary day on a human-run station. Which Keithvar was beginning to realize, probably was. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.